Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Sunday today, and it's actually gotten to be quite a nice day here on the West Coast after a fair amount of rain yesterday. So yeah, hopefully you're spending some time in your craft room, and if not, you've got other things on the books to plan for today. I just finished up a team meeting, which was lots of fun to get together with some of my team on Zoom, because I have team members from all across Canada, so it is always fun to get together as a team. And so we talked about what was going on, had a little chat about what's coming up in the new mini catalog for January and Celebration. Always fun to be able to see the catalog, when definitely for me, one of the perks about being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is to get to see the catalog in advance. So today I wanted to share with you another holiday card. This one's using the Season of Elegance suite. Such a pretty suite and a very traditional kind of color palette and images. Hey, Deborah, welcome from Australia. So no snow on this one, Deborah, but there are evergreen trees for you. So hopefully you like this suite too. A little bit different color palette. I'm using Pecan Pie for the card base, and then some Mossy Meadow, and of course gold, because this suite seems to be all about the gold embellishments and ribbon and other stuff that goes with it. All right, let's switch over and we're going to make this card. Now, I talked a little bit about yesterday about simple cards. This is another fairly simple card. You could whip up these in a fair amount of time, or in a really quick time. What am I saying? You could whip these up fairly quickly and not take too much time. So this is the two bundles that are part of the Season of Elegance. So this one is called Peaceful Evergreens, with some lovely, it is a distinctive stamp, so you want to make sure you've either stamped off, you don't have a juicy ink pad, stamped off, or moved the ink a little bit. I'll show you that before you stamp, so that you get these lovely textures on your images. This one comes with a set of dies that you can cut out these images, as well as, so there are the dies to cut the different images out, as well as some standalone. These ones add texture. If I can find the piece that goes with this one. There's one. So there's 3 sizes of trees in this, and so if you cut this out, you can add it on, hey Nancy, to your card base or your background, and it just adds some texture to your trees. Now, there's a couple of other pieces. There's a star, of course, you need. And then there are, if I can find the rest of the ones that go with this. There's the other pieces I'm looking for, but there's this one as well. Come on. Get my little pieces out. So this will cut out little holes so it looks like snow on your card base or your piece of cardstock. And then these pieces, you can cut out one of each of them. This one folds in half to create the sides of the bow. This is the tails of your bow, and then this is the center of your knot. And so you can actually cut one of each of these out and create a pretty little bow that you can put on your projects. If you're in our catalog launch, we used that one to create a gift card holder, or used it on a gift card holder that we created. Okay, I do need that one. Okay, so that's the Peaceful Evergreens. The Peaceful Seasons is just a really lovely stamp set with a ton of different sentiments on it. And then there are die cuts that go along with this one, with all sorts of labels that you can use to cut out your sentiments. So there are labels with banners, there are labels that you can put ribbon through, a bigger banner, and then these ones will cut out the words Christmas, and then of course a background for Christmas, just to create really pretty pretty. And then of course there's a Merry Christmas that goes along with that, or Happy Christmas if that's what you say where you're from. And then some lovely sentiments for the inside of your card. So those are the two bundles that I'm going to use today. So let's get started. So like I said, I'm using pecan pie, a little different for a card base, but I thought it went really lovely with, this is one of the pieces of designer series paper in basic beige with gold. It's specialty paper, comes in cherry cobbler, old olive, and then this basic beige. One side has just kind of a marbled or marbled image or texture, and then this side, one side is gold, just so pretty. So I've got a piece that is 4 1/4 by 11, and we'll use our bone folder. So I've scored that at 5 1/2, so fold into the mountain. And we've got our card base. So this piece of, excuse me, a little froggy today. This piece of designer series paper I cut 2 inches. It is absolutely stunning designer series paper, Hazel. So 2 inches by 5 1/2, and we're going to adhere that to the front of our card. And I'm going to align it here at the top roughly in half, and you can use the edges of your grid paper if you struggle with getting things lined up, but I'm going to just kind of push it up to the edge. And if you cut your piece of, oopsie, dropped a pair of scissors. If you cut your piece of designer series paper just a little bit too long, you can just take and use your paper snips to trim that little extra off. Now, I cut 2 pieces of gold foil. You can't have too much gold on this. So 2 pieces of gold foil. But before I do that, here's my pecan pie. So this little star, I'm going to take, it's stuck to my inside of my card. I can find, here we go, there's a little block. So I'm going to take and just stamp, and you could do this before, probably is better to do it before you put your designer series paper on. There, you can see that a little bit better. So I'm just going to take and just randomly stamp some on, some off, just to give a little texture down this side. You could stamp off. You could use Versamark if you wanted it to just look tone on tone, and I really didn't get that on there very straight. I can see it now, but it is what it is. There we go. Just a little bit of texture on your card. And then when I glue these little strips of gold foil, or any little strips, are sometimes hard to actually glue, to get the glue on that little 1/4 inch strip. So I just take and run just a little thin as I can, bead of glue down each side. Don't want too much. And then I take and put my piece of foil over top of it. And that just makes it so much easier than trying to get glue on the back of this little thin strip of foil, because I always get it all over my fingers. And line it, kind of butt it right up against that piece of designer series paper. And we get a little bit more foil on our card. Okay, so I've got a piece of Very Vanilla, and now I think I need to trim. Yeah. There we go. Okay, I've got a piece of Very Vanilla on for the inside of the card, and I'm just going to put that on the inside of the card while I do some stamping. So I'm going to stamp my big tree in Mossy Meadow. And as I said, this is a distinctive stamp, so I always kind of test this first. I think my Mossy Meadow probably isn't very juicy, so we're just going to stamp this, and then I'm going to take my piece of grid paper. Yeah, my Mossy Meadow definitely needs to be re-inked. If your ink pad is really juicy, you want to do one of two things. Take your bone folder, or an old bone folder that is kind of all inked up, and just kind of move your ink away by just kind of pressing it and moving it to one side. That'll take some of the ink away if it's really juicy. The other thing you can do is stamp off. And this is a really big ink, so I'm just going to ink up from the top. So if it's really juicy, just stamp off to remove some of that ink, and you will find that you get a much nicer image when you're stamping, and you will be able to see that the distinctive look to your stamp. Now you can see mine's quite pale because I need to spend a little bit of time doing some re-inking. So while I have my ink pad open, I am going to stamp the sentiment that says all the best in Mossy Meadow as well. And I'm going to take the inside of my card and I'm going to ink up these little 5 trees, and I'm going to stamp that just right down there in the corner. I love those little trees. Okay, so we've got our stamping done. We do need to do some die cutting. So I'm going to take, this is the largest tree, so we can just take the die and kind of position it. I'm going to use a little piece of Post-it note tape just to hold that in place. And then I've pulled out the little die that is the perfect size for this sentiment. We'll use a piece of Post-it note tape on that as well. Bring in my Stamp and Cut and Emboss and get the right plates for it. I really need to put some new plates on this. Okay, so there we go. That's that. So I've got platform 2. Well, I've got the platform and then the thin little platform, and then a cutting plate 3 and another cutting plate. We will just run those through. Like that. And we get this really pretty tree. Like that. And our sentiment, these sentiments in this, or these labels that are part of the whatever it's called, Peaceful Season, have lovely detail to them. So some of them you can put ribbon through, but this has just kind of got some stitching along the bottom and some really pretty detail. Okay, so let's take some dimensionals. So if you didn't want to put stars along the side, you could take, there's also a what looks like kind of a splatter that looks like little snowflakes. You could use that on the edges of this if you wanted to, instead of the stars, just to add some texture and detail. So I'm just going to take that and put in the middle. Put 3 on here, not because I probably need 3, but because one extra one stuck to my finger as I was getting my dimensionals off. And we'll put this on upside down, there we go, along the bottom. And this on the inside. So like I said, you could whip these out in no time at all, because there's not a lot of work to this particular card, and I think that's a really good thing in the holiday season when we're all so busy getting ready for stuff. Okay, we do need some embellishments on this. So these are the gold textured adhesive back dots. They come in 3 sizes, and that's what we're going to use because I haven't got enough gold on here. Let's put it down there. And then a medium one. See, I'll put it there. You could put the small ones on the tree if you wanted to, and in fact, maybe I'll put one on the top of the tree. Let's see, come on. It went rogue. There we go. There's one on the top of the tree, so it looks like it's got a decoration on the top of the tree. There we go. So that's a fairly quick and easy card. Lots of gold, lots of shiny, which is perfect for the holiday season. And then on the inside, those little trees along the bottom. All right, now, here we go. Hopefully I'm seeing all of the comments that are coming in. Yep, I am. Perfect. All right, I think I've responded to everything. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. Hope you have a day, maybe spend a little bit of time crafting. I will be back live tomorrow. So if you are a scrapbooker, or maybe you've never tried scrapbooking, or maybe it's been a really long time since you've done any scrapbooking, I've been going live on Monday nights. I call it Memory Keeping Monday. And my goal is to show you that it's not, it doesn't have to take a lot of time to make a double scrapbook layout. That was always my frustration in the past, was it just took too long to do a layout. And so my goal with this is to have a double layout done in less than an hour. And so that includes the time it takes me to print out the pictures in advance and figure out what I'm going to do. And then when I go live on a Monday night, it's anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes to actually put that layout together. So my whole goal is to be able to scrapbook some stories in a small amount of time. So an hour, I think, is a reasonable amount of time just to do some thinking about what I want to do and then get that layout done. So come join me at 6:30 Pacific for Memory Keeping Monday tomorrow night. And then Tuesday night at 6:30. Actually, I think I have to move it because I have a hair appointment. It's about time I did something. And so I'll be a little earlier on Tuesday with my sketch challenge. And then come join me on Wednesday night for a technique. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.